Presenting the pride of a rich man and the prejudice of a poor flapper girl. Fall in love, a classic. Brought to you by Pants Fasteners. Get yours today. The Bennett family, a family of little money due to the Depression, have joined 100 others as Mr. Charles Bingley's welcoming ball. He recently moved to the area and comes from great wealth, yet he is an awkward man. With his sister Caroline and his good friend Mr. Darcy, has a rather negative persona.
Mr. Bingley, how fantastic to finally meet you! We have been looking forward to meeting you. What a lovely home you've got, just like the movies. Oh, these are my daughters, Jane, Elizabeth, Lydia, Kitty, and Mary, and of course my husband, Mr. Bennet.
They're lovely.
Oh, and this is Charlotte Lucas, but she's not mine.
Mrs. Jane, would you like to dance with me?
Sure. And you must be Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy, is that right?
No.
He's rather pessimistic, I dare say. Don't mind him. I'm Caroline, Mr. Bingley's sister. Do you dance, Mr. Darcy?
No.
Right.
No.
Poetry, perhaps, suits you better?
No.
Actually, he's rather fond of poetry. He writes it to his sister all the time. His sister?
No.
Georgiana, a lovely girl of 16?
No.
Yes, 16. Does wonders with a piano. Almost any instrument, really. That's fantastic.
No.
What does Mr. Darcy do for a living? He's an underwater basket weaver.
No.
A very good pay, especially in the state of the economy right now.
No.
And are you working, Elizabeth? Yes, I am. I make pants fasteners, the best way to keep things safe below the waist. Fascinating. Mr. Darcy, would you like some pants fasteners? They sound lovely.
No.
He would love some. We'll write an order to you soon. Thank you very much. Will you excuse me?
Later that night, Elizabeth is talking to Charlotte about Mr. Bingley and Jane, watching them dance.
Charlotte, don't Jane and Mr. Bingley look lovely together?
Yes, I suppose they do. But that Mr. Darcy is awfully dreadful.
Very abhorrent, I agree.
Is that Mr. Collins? He is coming this way.
Although he is quite dreadful, I don't think even he can live up to Mr. Darcy's harrowing physique.
Dear Elizabeth Bennet, I've recently heard news of Jane's engagement to Mr. Bingley, and I was utterly appalled.
They're engaged already.
I immediately thought of how lonely you would be without your sister. You see, Lady Catherine has lent me a portion of her estate, and I must find myself a mistress for her.
Oh, Mr. Collins,
I've thought quite some time about this, and I would
Mr. Collins!
seem it most fits
Mr. Collins!
if you were to marry me.
You're shorter than me. Also, you're my cousin.
What? He's a good kisser.
Minor details. Think about being the mistress of Lady Catherine's estate.
You are the last person alive to ever make me happy, and I'm convinced I'm the last person to ever make you happy.
Yes, that's probably true, but, Miss Charlotte, you're not seeing anybody. We're about the same height. We're not cousins, are we?
No, I believe not. I think it would be quite a scandal if I found out somehow Lizzie and I was related.
Right. Will you marry me?
Well, I'm 27 and I see no other suitors throwing flowers at me and making a fuss. So why not?
But Charlotte!
Don't you judge me, Lizzie! Don't you dare judge me!
Mr. Collins, would you like some pants fasteners?
The next day, Elizabeth was just told the news of Mr. Collins and Charlotte's engagement, seeking some comfort because Mr. Collins would not buy the pants fasteners after she rejected him.
You turned down Mr. Collins? Yes, excuse me if I'd rather marry for love than convenience. Only the deepest love will persuade me into matrimony, which is why I shall end up an old maid. Well, you better find someone soon to make up for this. Jane will be getting married fairly soon, and Charlotte will too. Your two closest friends. Yes, I understand, Mother.
Charlotte had a beautiful wedding and allowed Elizabeth to stay for extra few nights. After church on Sunday, Elizabeth learned that her younger sister Lydia had run away to marry a soldier named Mr. Wickham, who had sold Darcy's father's estate to someone far less deserving than Mr. Darcy himself. She ran down the road to a lonely gazebo to get some air when suddenly she heard footsteps behind her.
Mr. Darcy!
I love you.
Mr. Darcy?
Will you marry me?
Why should I?
I love you.
Is that the only plausible reason?
I set up Lydia and Mr. Wickham's marriage for you.
Why did you do that for me? I thought you hated Mr. Wickham.
I do, but I love you. I have to tell you, you've bewitched me, body and soul, and I love you. And I never wish to be parted from you from this day on,
Well then, looks like you'll have a free lifetime supply of pants fasteners.
And you shall have a free houseful supply of underwater weave baskets.
And they lived happily ever after.